Hey guys,
Hey
welcome back
man.
to the GSL. This is Code A. I am Wolf, and with me is QXC. Together we are
Pirate Wolf.
Pirate Wolf.
Pirate
I don't
Wolf.
have a wolf in my shirt.
It's
but
okay.
I have a wolf on my existence.
In your spirit.
Yeah.
It's like your spirit animal thing. You know, like I think Native Americans might do that or something. Some culture has spirit animals. His is a wolf. Mine is a pirate.
Adjusting my headset, it was a little loose. Whoever used this headset last, I think was me. But also, I was gonna say you had a big head, but then I was like, I think it was me though. That's a little weird.
Whoever used this headset last really messed up everything. And it was me. I really messed everything up.
Well, QXC, you can't mess anything up.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't know how long we have, but let's talk a little. So we've got Leenock versus Tassadar.
Leenock versus Tassadar. Obviously, Tassadar on the team NS Hosa.
And that is
very strong Protoss.
That is a wait. Help me out here. I'm gonna make a Z. So finish. Wait. There. Okay. Now put your finger there. That's a Z.
Yep.
Leenock plays Zerg.
Yep.
I think it's backwards for you guys, but I don't really care. And there's the P. Tassadar is a Protoss player.
Yeah, it's a ZVP. And here you guys go. You can look at everything. Leenock versus Tassadar. Puzzle versus Happy later on to PvT. Now remember, we could have a PvP finals if both of these Protosses advance. That'll be the first time in GSL history where a finals was PvP ever.
That would probably end up being the worst thing ever. As a Terran player, I'm just saying, guys. I don't like Protoss.
I hate playing PvP, but I love watching it because I feel like sometimes I might be able to figure something out if I watch it. Usually you don't, because the games end in 7 minutes or less, and you're just like, oh, someone mismicroed like one thing, and then the game just ends. So sometimes that happens, or oh, he made his gateway a little bit slower than the other guy, or he didn't see the cannon, or it's something like that. There's not a whole lot to learn, but I'm looking for those games where I can learn something about PvP. I'm trying to find them.
When I watch PvP, I just kind of close my eyes and I start talking about things. I don't know if, for anyone who watched the last cast, I don't know if we even had any PvPs.
We did.
Well, that explains a lot of what happened there. During the games, you can't see me. I just close my eyes, man. We just start talking about stuff.
He does. I just tell him what's going on. He likes to pretend to be blind sometimes. That's something you guys don't know about QXC. He's like, I wonder what life would be like if I were blind. He just walks around and I help him.
I take my bandana and just put it all the way over my face.
I'm his seeing eye wolf.
A seeing eye wolf.
I am. All right, we're going to take a look at some highlight videos of these guys, so look forward to that.
I love these videos. They're so good.
They're pretty good.
They are good.
토로 나온 게 1.4에서 이게 분명히 보다가 이거 수리를 어찌어찌 버틸 수준이 아닌 건데요.
와, 이동규 선수 자신이 이길 수 있다라고 판단을 내린 것이죠.
그렇죠.
네.
토르가 지금 좋은 타이밍에 나와야 되는데.
그렇죠. 본인이
야,
나오는데
토르 쉽게 막을 수가 있습니다.
네.
토르가 빨리 와야 되고요.
토르가 고생해주고 있고, 빠르게 일단은 토르를 정리해주고 있는 이동규 선수.
그렇죠.
지지!
많거든요. 이거 건설로만 일단 다 배치를 했어요. 수비하기도 급한 상황에서 일단 전진을 계속해서
맹독충이랑 정리가 되는 달리 잘랐고. 자, 됐어요. 붙습니다.
연병력이 안 좋습니다.
그렇죠. 잘할 거야.
이 토르 내꺼, 저 토르 내꺼.
자, 이것도 내꺼, 이것도 내꺼.
세번씩
여기 생존.
공성모드 못하죠. 공성모드하면 아무를 때리기 때문에
자, 위쪽에 사람들이 공격해주고 있고 다 내 거야까지.
오시만 내 거야.
네, 여기서 치즈.
이외에는 대사는 아니기 때문에 벙커스를 스윙 맹독실 굳이 준비하지 않고 들어가는 것은 자신감인데요.
그렇죠. 자, 다시 한번 들어가는 이동현 선수.
잡았어.
시켜주는 이동현 선수. 네, 잠시 펠리스. 자, 굴러가면서. 이걸 조심해서 이번에 맹독증을 또 굴러가면서.
That was Leenock, man. He actually made every single person that he played against in those highlight videos look like they were ridiculously dumb. It was like there's Thor shooting at someone's siege tanks that are on move command, or his like Marines are walking over banelings.
Apparently both Hope Torture and Yoda tried to mech against him. There's a lot of neural process.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he obviously beat Hope Torture Yoda and Dream 2-0 each.
He played 3 Karen,
Yeah.
and now he's playing a Protoss. It's
That
kinda,
is a little difficult.
It's kind of weird how that works sometimes. You can win a big tournament, like never playing a certain matchup.
That's true.
You're like, I played 3 ZVTs and 2 ZVPs, and I won GSL. Like, I don't even know how to play that other matchup that
ZVZ.
I actually didn't know which one I hadn't mentioned.
Yeah.
I was a little confused.
Well, I gotta say his CVT is really good. He's always been a very patient player. He never really loses to those very pressure-oriented builds. Like, he never gets killed by an 11-11 Rags. So we're gonna take a look at Tassadar, though.
Highlight video coming up.
선수를 압박해주고 있고 이거 진짜
이게 거의 제대로 맞았어?
야, 이렇게 일단 들어갔고요. 자, 위쪽에서 본진되는 불사서 더 심한 상태에서 하나씩 뒤로 올려도 지상병력은 없어질 수 있어요. 들어갑니다. 집중하세요. 돌진 먼저 사람까지 들어갑니다.
아, 박준 이거 건설하고 소리 못했고요. 나이 났는데요.
자, 여기서
아까 그 소리 안 했거든요. 소리 안 바꿔요. 이거
그렇죠.
뚝뚝 치고 빠졌기 때문에
오 선수. 자, 불고하기 줄었고요. 계속 선수를 해주고 있습니다.
기본으로 추적자만 1.4 해주고 남아있는 광전사는 좀 컨트롤로.
자, 이번에 광전사와 함께 올라가는 전멸 추적자.
너무 많아요.
자, 굴 돌아오는 시간입니다. 안쪽에서 공격해주고 있어요, 김정훈 선수. 자, 김정훈 선수 뒤에 없어요. 계속해서 병력 생산하면서 공격을 해주고 있습니다.
하지만 그래도 이렇게 극단적인 수를 꺼내는지 뒤로 살짝 빨리 빼줘야죠. 아, 이거 CCT가 좋아서 이거 테란 병력이 굉장히 잘 싸우고 있거든요.
지원되는 선수. 자, 이후에 자, 앞쪽에 있는 병력들이 다 뛰어오시고 있는 자, 이게 잘 맞았죠. 이게
거신이거든요.
그렇죠. 밀어붙이고 있는 김정훈 선수.
거신은 건축군이 파고들어서 뭉쳐있는 테란의 병력 한번 파려보자.
하지만 이 타이밍에 들어가는 자, 김정훈 선수 완성.
그냥 들려요. 감이 없습니다. 이대로 싸우게 되면 지금의 김정훈 선수의 병력은 그냥 공격이 아니라 아예 자연된.
There's Tassadar.
Yeah, those games, the first few obviously were several well-executed all-ins, basically. And then when you saw the games against Noblesse, though, those were interesting. He basically played a PvT style where he made High Templar but only used them for feedback and just used Zealots and Archons. A few Stalkers here and there, but literally Zealots and Archons for 90% of his composition.
He actually doesn't believe in Storm. It's against his religion or something.
He had like 5 bases on that Tal'Darim, or not Tal'Darim, Terminus game, the last one that they saw there, and he just like didn't make Storm. He had tons of High Templar too, like 7.
You know, it's kind of funny because isn't Tassadar a High Templar?
Yeah, he is.
So like, you think of anyone at all, if you were like, this player will use Psionic Storm, I would pick Tassadar.
Yeah, me too, man.
I would. And I think actually what he's doing is being ironic. This is a very complicated, high-level joke that's designed to infiltrate the metagame. I don't actually know what that means.
Well, you know, maybe one day there'll be a book about this. It'll be a good work of literature, and little high schoolers will have to like find the meaning and all of this. You know, all the symbolism and analogies.
Here are the maps.
The metaphors.
Here we go with the maps. Let's talk a little bit about the maps. Starting on Zelnaga Caverns, Dual Site, Terminus, Tal'Darim, and Metalopolis. So what do you think? ZVP.
Well,
Good
Zelnaga
maps, bad
Caverns,
maps?
I think they're pretty good maps in general. The only map that I think is a little iffy is Dual Sight. I don't really like it.
Protoss?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very hard. For anyone who's like, Dual Site, that seems like an easy map for Protoss. Like, it's small, you can deny bases. The main problem is... Wait, where's my hand? Okay, there. Now you guys can see. So, if this is your main, there's like this big clump of rocks, and there's like a waterfall here, and then there's like path in, and we're going to go into the game. So don't worry about that. There's 2 ways into your base, and the Zerg can like counterattack. That's actually what I was going to talk about.
That's exactly right. We're going to jump into the game, though. Or maybe not. In 15 seconds.
Yeah, just kidding. So back to that thing I was doing. 2 paths. Protoss goes this way, Zerg goes this way, Protoss goes that way, Zerg goes this way. And we're about to get into...
That was actually really cool. All right, up here at the top right, a member of the team Foyu. I hung out with him last night, actually. He is known as
Leenock for you.
There's Yellow making his cameo.
Yeah. I actually did hang out with him last night. I went to the Buggy House.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you hung out with Yellow.
No.
I was like, I was with you last night. In the bottom left-hand corner, the Yellow Protoss vying for the final position, known as
NSO서 Tassadar.
Tassadar. And there he is. He's in alien green mode, reflecting his alien nature as a member of the alien race.
Yeah, he's part of the Protoss race.
So he is going for 13 gas, I believe that was? 13 or 14?
Yeah, it was 14.
Relatively early gas. Basically, not going to be Cannon Rush, not going to be a Forge Expand, not going to be 2-gate.
Yeah, he's going to scout. Well, he already has gone inside of Leenock's base. He's seen no hatchery, so he's just leaving his probe there. And, of course, for the event of a hatchery first, he would be able to block it.
You can see Leenock actually tries to take his probe around to dodge a potential scouting probe. Tassadar now notices the drone, and Leenock didn't get his gas, so he is trying to go for a hatch first. It's a little bit of a strange move on this map because it's very easy to deny the hatchery from going down as a Protoss player.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it's a very wide open natural, so if your opponent decides to put on early pressure, you have to have a lot of spines to really hold, and he does go for hatch, so he's just now getting his gas, went pool first, into the hatch. Relatively risky move on this map, but it's something that it's more economically friendly. You get a later speed. It's kind of an investment that's a little bit risky, but he's playing against Tassadar, though, who has been known to do really strong timing attacks in the early games. He's got to be a little bit careful.
And here we do see Tassadar chrono boosting out Warp Gate, getting the first Zealot. Does he have a second gas?
Yeah, he took it.
So
just
Tassadar
finished up.
does have a second gas, fairly early, not like super early, but early enough that we expect to see some kind of tech play.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to make a Stargate. That's my assumption. He could try to do a 2-gate or just a 1-gate Nexus with those sentries, but it's a little bit risky to do that, and he is going to send a probe over here. I think he's going to make a Stargate. And
There is the Stargate. And Wolf, we're going to call that Wolf sense. Wolf he sniffed the game out. I saw his nose go up into the air. He kind of poked his fingers up and used them as like impromptu ears, and he detected what Tassadar was about to do. So the Stargate does go down. Ling almost gets into his base, but not quite. And Leenock has started speed.
what we're going to see from Tassadar most likely is what I like to call the Void Ray Expand, what others have called the Void Ray Expand as well. And we may see him try to send that. Obviously, he's going to make a Void Ray. He's going to send it to try to kill Overlords, and he may kind of float over to where Leenock to take a potential third just to make sure that he can harass that, or at least maybe deny it, force some queens over there. But most likely, Leenock won't have a third at that time, so he's just going to pull back, make a Nexus. He's not really going to try to kill a bunch of queens with this. He could, but you don't normally see that.
It's basically like a light pressure. Like in Terran versus Zerg, we have basically the same build, but with Banshees. You use that to take early map control. Zerg, no real mobile Tier 1 flyer, so it has a very hard time actually applying pressure or doing any of those big kind of all-ins. The main reason for that is the most effective way to do an all-in is to have the units literally appear at your opponent's doorstep, and the way you do that is by denying scouting. Void Ray gets out on the map, that's not possible.
Exactly.
Tassadar is going to know what's coming. And Leenock is going to see the Nexus. Did he see that?
I'll check that. I'm pretty sure he did. He did in fact see it.
So Leenock does know the Nexus is going down. Both players playing with a lot of information right now.
Yeah, so right now Leenock started a Ro4 and he's already started that missile attack upgrade. He got a very fast Evo Chamber. He's probably not going to make any spores, well, as I say that he does make one. It's safe to get one at each base just in case Phoenixes start flying around, but doesn't necessarily need that at this point. He is just going to stick with the one for now. He has lost 2 Overlords, which has put him in the red supply. He's making 2 right now. But like you're saying, the Void Ray is going to come through the middle of the map, clean up these Xel'Naga Watchtowers, the same as a Banshee would do, to just deny scouting. And as you can see, he's adding gateways here, forming that wall off.
He has a lot of sentries. Almost, I think he's got 6 or 7 sentries.
Yeah, he's got 6 of them right there.
Yep. Both players really gearing up for the later stages of the game. You see Leenock did start his lair, getting a macro hatchery, and he's taking 2 more gases. So what does that kind of mean? What's Leenock's plan?
Well, he may decide to go for some speedling attacks. He's thinking most likely, when you get that extra hatchery, it allows you to make, you have extra larvae. I mean, obviously that's very basic, common knowledge. But what he's going to do with that is either drone up heavily and before he takes the third base, just to make sure he can take that third base safely, or he's going to make a ton of speedlings and just put pressure on with that. It's going to all come down to whether or not Tassadar moves out with these sentries or not. If he moves out with the sentries, he's going to want to have that extra larva to make Zerglings do counterattacks, and of course force Force Fields with the Zerglings, slow that push down. And if he doesn't attack, he's going to make a bunch of extra drones, then make that hatchery, then transfer the drones over there and get ahead in that way.
So I guess the only question I have is if he was going for big Speedling timing attack, why would he get on 3 gas so quickly? Because Speedlings aren't really gas intensive.
Well, he wants to start getting that gas up. He actually started a Hydralisk den as well here. That's relatively interesting.
And he does have a Ro4 in making, so both Roaches and Hydralisks. Can he do some kind of 2-base bust with Hydra Roach?
You can do a 2-base bust with a decent amount of Roaches, Speedlings, and Hydras. The scary thing, though, is if it doesn't work, you basically just lose the game. It's really all in. He doesn't really have enough creep spread at this stage of the game. And when you do that kind of bust, it just gets difficult. He is going to go ahead and take a third.
So Leenock has started his third, and the Speedlings did kind of poke into Tassadar's natural. He did see a lot of sentries, and I'm assuming he saw a fairly normal amount of units, which is why he did take that third. He doesn't feel like a big all-in is coming.
Basically, he knew the timing was, when he went up with those lings, at that specific timing, if there were an all-in coming or a pressure type of thing coming, the units would have already been coming towards his base. He saw that was not the case, and he, of course, made that Hydro Snake. He's getting Groove Smite. He's already getting +2 missile attacks. That's very, very quick. He's also getting a very fast Infestation Pit, which I really, really like.
So maybe Roach, Hydra, Infestor?
Yeah, well, the thing about the Roach Warren is that you don't have to make the Roaches necessarily. This Void Ray is going to kill a Creep Tumor unless it's canceled. Does get canceled. He is going to try to deny this hatchery, but there are so many Hydras out, it's going to have to retreat.
Definitely not one of the better maps, I would think, for the Void Ray expand, just because one of the cool things you can do with it is denying that third, because it's hard to get a Queen or Hydralisk there because of creep spread. This map, the third's right there. It's very easy to get anti-air there early on.
Yeah. I mean, super early, it's hard because there's rocks there, but at this timing, you know, at a pretty normal time, you can't really use that Void Ray. Now, right now, 2 Infestors, I take it back, on the way. Roach Speed is on the way. He hasn't really made any Roaches. He doesn't really need to. Like I was saying earlier, the thing about the Roach tech is that once you have it, you can just use it later, and Roaches will become important later. But right now, he's just got those Hydras out in case an attack comes with sentries. And it looks like we're going to see the gold base possibly taken here by Tassadar very early on.
And one thing that we did neglect to mention is Blink is just about to finish for Tassadar. How does Blink fare against the composition that Leenock is making? I know Fungal stops Blink.
Exactly. Fungal does stop it, but you need a lot more Infestors than Leenock has. He can do a lot of damage at that third, and a cool thing you can do on Zelnaya Caverns, if you have one unit on top of the high ground behind the minerals, you can blink your Stalkers up and down. It gets very hard to deal with because the Lings can't really fight. And he hasn't yet made this Nexus. I think he's going to attack as he does it, and right now, of course, Leenock is just waiting for that moment to go in there and force the cancel on the Nexus with these Lings. That's why he keeps running around with them. Tassadar kind of knows everything that's going on. Roaches are starting to come out here. He's starting to get that Roach-heavy composition, realizing that Hydralisks, while they do a lot of damage, they're pretty good against Blink Stalkers. He just can't be as mobile with them right now.
Yep. One thing I do want to mention, when Leenock's Lings were in the third, kind of doing damage, Tassadar blinked. And it's not like other upgrades where you can click on the unit, like Zealots with Charge, you can click and you can see their movement speed is higher. Pre-Igniter, you can click and you can see the damage has changed. Stalkers with Blink, you only know Blink is done when you see the Blink. And Tassadar revealed that information to Leenock.
This is true, and these Zerglings are going to catch some Zealots, or at least attempt to, but because of that very same Blink, he was able to save them. And both of these guys kind of just fighting for control of the Watchtowers right now.
Yeah, right now it's really a battle for who can maintain control of the center in order to just poke and continue to macro. Neither player is willing to commit to a big attack. And I think a lot of that is because both players have had such good scouting this whole time. It's very hard to make an attack like that work if your opponent knows it's coming.
Exactly. Now, there are Overlord drops on the way. He's got a few Overlords here. He does already have speed. +1 melee attack coming out to help those Zerglings. Of course, ranged units already have +2. 16 Banelings in production, and the gold base being taken by Leenock. This is a pretty bold move.
We're going to see some Baneling drops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will be pretty nice. +2 weapons from Tassadar.
+3 weapons.
+3 weapons. Really?
That's really fast.
That is really fast. And I think Leenock is up to +2 missile, and he's just now getting +1 attack. How critical is it for +Carapace in this matchup?
It doesn't really become all that important in
the
this
Banelings
matchup.
are loading up. Sorry.
Oh, they're getting ready, man. That is actually, it's like 6 Overlords full Banelings, man.
One thing that's actually really interesting, though, is Leenock has not made an Overseer. Tassadar knows this is coming. He should be prepared. This shouldn't, like, what I kind of expect to happen is both armies will meet, some damage will be dealt, both players will remax, and then there will be another battle. Neither player should really come out of this super far behind.
Yeah, but these Banelings, well, he did, of course, pull back because, you know, like you're saying, Tassadar knows this is coming. He just has to make sure he doesn't mess up or miss micro.
Yep.
Spire on the way, Hive Tech on the way. I think we're going to see some Broodlords after this. Leenock wants to trade armies. He just decided that wasn't the best time yet. He needs to get some better upgrades, but he won't be able to do that until that Hive Tech comes out. He's starting to get +2 melee attacks. That's going to really help those Banelings out. Carapace really not that important in this matchup because the Colossi just do so much area damage and there's only one attack. All of the units, except Zealots, of course, which don't really come that much into play here. Doesn't really affect with the Carapace.
He's got a lot of Banelings in those Overlords.
Yeah, he does.
And look at that. This is really interesting. This is a small thing that kind of differentiates players. Tassadar's Void Ray, he never lost it, and right now it's just chilling. It's giving him vision of the right base. It's denying that expansion in case Leenock wants to take it. You notice he's got, there you go, Zealots on the left. Tassadar knows what's going on. He's going to see this. The Phoenix is going to intercept. I don't know if the Phoenix can actually kill an Overlord.
No, it won't be able to kill the Overlord fast enough, but at the very least, he knows this is coming.
Yep.
He's actually going to bring part of his army, not all of it, over here.
Yeah, but Blink will be able to clean this up without too much trouble. And what Leenock really needs to do, this is what I've been kind of referring to the whole time. It's hard to make attacks work when your opponent can see them coming so far in advance. What Leenock really needs to do is start to kind of spread his... He needs to become an octopus. He needs to spread his tentacles across the map and cover everything in his slimy, greasy... What is that thing that octopi emit? Oil? Ink. Yes, he needs to spread his creepy ink all over the map and remove Tassadar's corrupt Protoss presence. He needs to take the watchtowers, he needs to clear the lanes on the 2 alleys. That's the only way to make these drops work. And you can see the octopus that is Leenock spreads to the left. He's going to clear that out. Now he can take the hatchery, and Tassadar doesn't know when it's going to be down.
We didn't get a shot of it, but on the right side, that Voider you were talking about, a drone came to make a hatchery, started the hatchery, and then canceled and died. It was pretty amusing. But speaking of canceling hatcheries, a Dark Templar is coming over here.
Oh, nice.
On the left side of the map, canceling a hatchery, and at the same time running into the backdoor expansion here, takes out a queen.
Yeah, in the third. That's really nice. How many Dark Templar do you need to take out a spine?
Like
2?
Generally 2, yeah, it should be fine if you only have 1 spine there.
And this is... Right now, you might look at this game and you're like, QXC, I don't understand. Like, it seems like...
It's so boring, no one's attacking.
Well, like, everything is even.
Yeah.
Both players, like, Leenock's been up a base for a while, but he's Zerg, so he needs more bases, so it's still pretty even. But I would say Tassadar is slightly advantaged in terms of map presence, in terms of play so far. If Tassadar is not prepared for Broodlords, that could change a lot.
Yeah.
But he is going to see the Hive Tech. He knows how many bases Leenock has. He knows what his unit composition is. Tassadar is in the know.
Both of these guys really are. I mean, what you're seeing here with these roaches is we saw the roach drop didn't work. We saw that roach little attack didn't work at all.
Yep.
And part of that, like you're saying, is because Tassadar knows everything's coming. But again, Leenock is making Broodlords. He's adding more Corruptors. He threw those roaches away so he could alter his unit composition.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering. It seemed like a little bit of a waste, but I think he needed to do that in order to free up some supply.
Exactly.
Roaches are not a good unit to max out on. And we can see, look at Tassadar. Tassadar is the octopus that Leenock needs to be.
Exactly, and right now he's going to move forward, stretch out his tentacles, and attack.
We have a little bit of engagement, but I think...
Those spine tentacles, man, are going to slow him down.
Here's the Broodlords. So Tassadar knows the Broodlords are here. I'm not sure... Is Tassadar ready for this?
He's not really ready. He doesn't have enough Stalkers. He's got about, I don't know, 30 Stalkers or so. But these Broodlords...
Storm! And does pick off one Broodlord. Very nice move by Tassadar.
The thing about Broodlords is you have to blink all of your Stalkers forward, and when that happens, that's when the Hydras,
is this going to be a
Infestors...
feedback? No, he does not get the... He just does get one Storm off. High Templars do die.
Leenock's not reacting. Yeah, it was a huge opportunity for Fungals, for Baneling drops.
I feel like 2 or 3 Fungals, Banelings drop on top of those Stalkers, and the game is basically over.
Yeah.
If the Stalkers go away, Tassadar's whole army is forfeit. nothing else can deal with Broodlords that he has right now.
Exactly. He's adding Stargates. That's something that's really good at dealing with those Broodlords, and now he's in kind of a tough spot.
What would help Leenock a lot here is to move his creep spread. Oh, Leenock's going for it. He's just going to move in. The Banelings not being unloaded. There's 4 Overlords not dropping Banelings.
Now they are.
There the Banelings go. The Hydralisk moving in. All the Colossi get cleaned up.
And there just aren't enough Stalkers for the Broodlords. The Hydra's cleaning up. I think Tassadar might lose this game right now.
This looks like it could be the end. I don't see how can he defend. He does have a Void Ray coming, but there's
there's so many Hydras. There's like the 8 of them out here. They have +3 weapons in a second. And this hatchery, or rather this next, is going to fall. Leenock already remaxing. He's got 2 more Broodlords on the way. He's actually made like 11 Overlords there. And I don't even think he was supply blocks. He just did.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but
but you know, he's
maybe he lost a bunch because he did the
I think he lost a few. But anyway, GG.
Wow.
What happened there a little bit was just, even though he knew about the Broodlords, he just didn't react properly, and Leenock was so patient. Leenock, I want to start calling him the patient Zerg or something. I just want to give him that nickname. One of our FXO members here is over here. His name's T-Gun, and he just suggested to us that we call him the Leenock-topus.
The Leenock-topus.
I love that.
I think that is actually a hilarious name.
I love that so much, man. But yeah, we were both sitting there going, why isn't he dropping them? And I concluded afterwards that he wanted the Stalkers to blink first. He had all of the Overlords on top of the Stalkers, and they couldn't attack because otherwise the Hydras would have caught up to them and he would have just dropped on top of them anyways.
Right.
After they blinked, then he started dropping them.
Yeah, and he cleaned that up. That was, great execution. Caught the... Tegan's reminding me, I do have 2 stories that I do want to tell you guys when we have some break time.
Tegan is so awesome. He's just over here smiling at us and like holding up signs. He's like, don't forget to talk about this. He's like helping us out.
But yeah, what Tassadar, he had his eyes on the expansion and he had his eyes on the army. What I don't think he had was good eyes on the tech.
Yeah.
He didn't know that the Broodlords were coming soon enough. I feel like if he did, he would have had a lot more High Templar.
Yeah, he needed more High Templar, or he needed to add Stargates earlier.
Yeah.
Even if you're max, if you add a few Stargates, and you can kind of trade armies here and there, you avoid the Broodlords and trade some armies, then you start making those Void Rays. As you guys, I don't know, some of you guys watch NASL, but if you did, you heard about the Void Rays killing Broodlords, and if you have enough Void Rays and your opponent, doesn't have the proper unit composition, or you catch the Broodlords like in the middle, where those Broodlords were hanging out there. Right. If you have Void Rays there, the Hydras can't really hit them, and you need those Void Rays, you need some better Storms, but we're going to go ahead and jump into that second game here pretty soon on Dual Sight.
Coming out of that game, if I was Tassadar, I would actually be doing almost exactly the same thing I was doing, maybe a little more aggression, and just making sure that I was more prepared for Broodlords. And we're going to jump into the game right now.